Hi there, musitrature recaps here. Today, I'm explaining a movie called Wrong Turn. Scott Shaw, desperate to find his missing daughter Jen and her friends, arrives in the city where they were last seen. Though sometimes people say that she is not alive and it does not make sense, he refuses to give up. 6 weeks earlier, Jen, her boyfriend Darius, and couples Adam and Mila, Gary and Luis, embark on an Appalachian Trail hike in Virginia. A punctured wheel and a cautionary hotel owner mark the beginning. At the hotel, the owner tells them to be careful not to cross the boundaries of space as consequences will follow. In the evening, the friends enjoy themselves at a bar, encountering a hostile individual. Adam argues with the man, but the others calm him down, suggesting the stranger seek medical help for apparent kidney problems. Exiting the bar, the friends notice someone near their car and drive the stranger away by throwing a bottle at him. That night, Jen and Darius rest, unaware that someone is lurking outside their window. The next morning, Jen goes for a run, where she encounters Edith and a silent girl named Ruthie, from whom she buys a bracelet. Later, the group of friends embarks on a hike along the Appalachian Trail. Darius suggests deviating from the route to find an old Civil War fort, despite being advised to stick to the planned course. Jen agrees, adding a touch of adventure to their journey. A few hours later, a group of tourists, frustrated with Darius for getting lost, faces danger as a massive tree trunk rolls down a hill towards them. Panic ensues, and the friends scatter in different directions, but tragedy strikes as the trunk crushes Gary. With impending rain and nightfall, Luis is deeply affected, and the group, disoriented and lost, decides to return to the city for help. In the woods, Mila tends to injuries, setting Darius's broken finger. Despite hours searching for the trail, they realize they're off course and must spend the night in the forest. In the middle of the night, Jen wakes to see a man's shadow behind the tent, but it vanishes, and she dismisses it. Early in the morning, the group of tourists discovers they spent the night at a cemetery, with an eerie memorial plaque from 1859. It reveals a group of settlers who sacrificed their lives, anticipating the fall of the United States to create a new community. More unsettling, Mila is missing, and their phones are gone. Hastily packing, they search for Adam's girlfriend, encountering the silent Ruthie. Believing she might know about Mila, Adam pursues her but falls into a trap. Despite efforts to free him, someone drags Adam into a pit with a chain. Darius, encountering a snake, chooses not to risk climbing after him. Continuing the search for a second exit, the group stumbles upon a shed filled with belongings left by those who got lost before them. Moments later, Luis, Darius, and Jen encounter two men with animal skulls on their heads, carrying Adam tied to a post. Determined to save their friend, Darius and the others attack the strange men in wild animal skins. Strangers speaking an unknown language act aggressively, leaving everyone puzzled about their intentions. Adam, thinking they harmed Mila, frees himself and ruthlessly beats one of the men with a large log. The second savage, wearing an animal skull, escapes, and Mila reappears. She had hidden when she saw the strangers while going to the toilet. The group realizes that the man Adam attacked was innocent, complicating their plan to call the police for Gary's body. Now, facing potential legal consequences, they contemplate leaving the place forever. Amidst arguments, Jen advocates for honesty, but their discussion is cut short when Darius triggers another trap, injuring his shoulder. Unaware that a local tribe member in camouflage lurks nearby, the friends pass through the trees. The tribesman attacks from behind, abducting Luis. Soon, Jen notices the missing comrade and realizes they are surrounded by savages with ominous intentions. Attempting to escape, Mila falls into a trap, impaled on stakes. Adam, sympathizing with her, leaves to save himself. A tribesman approaches Mila, ending her life with a precise shot from a bow. Adam falls into yet another trap, becoming a captive of the tribe. Darius and Jen attempt to hide among the boulders, but the savages pursue them and eventually capture each of them one by one. Scott realizes it's been 6 weeks since Jen disappeared, with no contact from his daughter. Constantly calling her, he only hears the answering machine, sensing something is wrong and deciding to embark on a search for her. Meanwhile, Jen wakes up in a hole, where Edith, whom she encountered earlier, pulls her out. The group is taken to a primitive settlement deep in the forest for trial. Darius resists, getting struck in the face and realizing it's wiser to kneel. Edith warns them that the next one to speak or protest will lose their tongue. The community's leader, John, calls Morgan, Samuel's brother, as a witness. Samuel lost his life when Adam stumbled upon their trap while they were trying to catch a wild animal. Jen initially denies the accusation but later admits it, justifying Adam's actions as self-defense. The leader condemns Adam to death and sentences the others to darkness for perjury in court. At a certain point, Adam breaks free from the rope. Grabbing a nearby knife, he takes Ruthie hostage, demanding the release of himself and his friends. The tribal girl, undaunted, employs a concealed blade, thrusting it into Adam's leg. Within minutes, John executes Adam using the same log he used on Samuel. Later, the tribe escorts the trio to a cage to carry out the sentence and send them to darkness. Before this, John intends to use a red-hot poker to burn out their eyes. Louise tries to escape but is swiftly caught, and the tribal leader proceeds with the punishment. Jen, unwilling to meet the same fate, attempts to manipulate the tribe and its leader. She claims Darius is a sustainable energy expert who can solve the society's problems, safeguarding them from external threats and issues with heat, light, and water. John considers mercy but questions why he needs Jen, doubting her capabilities. In a bid to save herself, Jen offers to be a wife and mother, highlighting good genes and no predisposition to disease. Edith considers examining Jen, but Father John intervenes, deciding to take Jen as his wife. Darius and Jen pledge allegiance to the community, witnessing the burning of Adam. Embraced by the savages in animal masks, they are offered booze and weapons. Jen later approaches the chief, discovering he became a widower over a year ago due to his wife's accident. The girl, without resistance, joins John in bed for an intimate encounter. Meanwhile, Scott, who has been anxiously waiting for 6 weeks, continues his search for his missing daughter in the town where she and her friends last stayed. At a bar, he has dinner and confers with the hotel owner, Ollie, who hesitated to reveal the truth before but now wants Scott to know where his daughter disappeared. Near the city lies a wild tribe, avoided by locals. Straying from the path means falling victim to the savages who never let anyone return. Ollie speculates that Jen and her friends might have faced a similar fate. Despite this, she advises Scott to leave and forget about his daughter. As Scott exits the bar, he is attacked by Nate and his friends. The mob beats him, demanding he leaves the city for good. Although a policeman witnesses the assault, he does not intervene and leaves the scene. In the morning, Scott, undeterred by threats, heads to the trail to find his daughter. Ollie, realizing she can't stop him, offers help. She takes him to her nephew, Hunter, an experienced guide capable of leading a dangerous expedition. Hunter, having faced savages before, seeks revenge after surviving an arrow shot to the head. In the forest, he deactivates a trap but loses track of his son, Cooper, who falls into a hole rigged with metal stakes. While attempting to assist, both Hunter and Scott's aide meet an unfortunate end. Undeterred, Scott persists in his search. At night, he reaches the settlement, only to be captured by savages wearing animal skull masks. Once inside, he is shot with an arrow, realizing later that it was fired by his own daughter, now married to the tribe's leader, John. Scott is sentenced to darkness, with the execution rescheduled for the morning. Later, John questions Jen about any regrets, and she proves her loyalty by being intimate with the tribe's leader. Once he falls asleep, Jen tries to free her father, admitting she fired the shot to deflect suspicion. She invites Darius to escape with them, but he declines, having found his purpose. With the gates locked, the mute Ruthie assists the father and daughter in escaping through a cage known as Darkness. Morgan crosses paths with Jen, prompting her to take the life of the hunter. Navigating through an underground chamber, Jen encounters the blinded Luis and mercifully releases him from his suffering. Upon exiting the cave, Scott and Jen come to a halt, facing a cliff. Edith attacks Jen, and they both fall. Scott searches for a way down and delivers a precise shot to finish off Edith. Meanwhile, Jen faces an attack from Hobbs, losing control but dealing with him brutally. Shortly after, father and daughter reunite, only to be confronted by another hunter. With an empty revolver, 2 well-aimed bow shots to the enemy's head resolve the issue. While attempting to continue their escape, they encounter Nate and other armed townspeople. Jen, initially distrustful, learns that Nate's son went missing in the same area 6 years ago. The locals, harboring resentment against the tribe, decide to retaliate against the sectarians. Simultaneously, a hunter tracks down the fugitives, injuring Jen and taking the lives of a couple of townspeople. Scott addresses the threat with an axe, and the survivors hasten to a pickup truck. Nate uses a Molotov cocktail to thwart John and safely takes the rescued family away. A few months later, life improves for Jen and her father. She visits her stepmother for groceries, encountering unexpected guests, John and Ruthie. Pregnant Jen, determined to protect her family, launches a knife attack, but the scenario unfolds as thoughts in her mind. Realizing the futility of resistance, she agrees to return to the tribe under the condition that John spares her family. Jen, along with her father, the unborn child's father, Ruthie, and other hunters, boards a motorhome. Shortly after, she steers the van into a car, causing a crash. Armed with a knife, Jen confronts the remaining members of the tribe, ultimately taking John's life. Afterward, she and Ruthie return home, signaling the end of all the horrifying events, and here the movie ends. Thank you for watching.